Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Excuse the hat hair. ITM is here. We got a new technology implementation, so hopefully the cameras look great and the audio is awesome and that we can hear each other as well as you hear us. We're here. We're here live for our Monkey Man review. A lot of things to say about this one for sure. We actually specifically haven't talked at all about it because I didn't want to spoil my thoughts like I normally do before we get to talk live. I'm sure. Well, actually, neither of us have said our thoughts, so this is
like probably 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, so
or something like that.
I watched it recently, so
it's fresh on your mind. You'll have to
very fresh on my mind.
I think I generally remember most of the plot points. And I mean, it's one of the only like two other movies that I've seen the last 2 weeks. So,
yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Anyone who's here right now.
Good morning, India. Good evening, America.
Oh yeah. Okay. Time zones.
If you're watching this while eating your breakfast, whatever. I don't know what a common Indian breakfast while you eat your
well, I feel like that's different for the whole country though, because the country's massive.
Your idli and sambar, or your dosa, or your paratha, or your masala dosa.
We had that one.
What?
The
dosa?
No, the one before that.
Parathas?
Yeah, I think we tried that when we did the anniversary episode. Yeah, as always, everybody, this is a live show, so make sure you let us know your thoughts on this movie. Try to do get everyone's opinions. So
yes, this one, from what we've read, from how was supposed to be on Netflix, then Universal picked it up and all that kind of stuff. So any and all thoughts are welcomed on the movie. Obviously, we're going to take a look at it from the story perspective. Dev Patel as a up-and-coming director, as this is his first movie, and then also he stars in it as well. So we're going to take a look at it from that standpoint, not so much the social elements that take place.
Whatever controversy there is, I'm sure there's the people that won't like it because of that. That happens with a lot of films, so we're gonna come at it from a a different perspective. Just take it for what it is. There's gonna be religious there. Obviously it has religious. I won't even say symbolism. I think some of it's direct. Like, these are figures. This is going right into that. Let me turn on. I think we're good with the music for now. So let me switch over to the main for a little bit. Get our boy up in here.
Yeah, I'm curious, because when we initially reviewed reacted to the trailer, right? It seemed very John Wick heavy, right? We were talking about how it was just so high action, the coloring that he used, also the action and the choreography and all that kind of stuff. I do absolutely love his look.
Yeah, let me tell you, I wrote so many notes on this, so I definitely I don't want to. I could lead us in a direction if you're okay with that. I mean, it's kind of plot point related. I think I cover almost everything, like genre wise, like how we like to hit okay, we want to hit set design and all that. So I mean, I'll just hit my plot points so we can discuss. But this pretty much covers the whole movie. And I think some questions, if you had questions or anything like that, throw them in.
I'll raise my hand.
Sir.
Professor Cody!
So obviously, I think the first note I made here was cage fighting, because that seems to be a very big plot point for this entire movie. That seems to be where he gets the majority of his... I love how his character is very heavily rooted in stress and anxiety, panic attacks, a lot of panic attacks at first. And the cage fighting seems to be his outlet for a lot of his anger. And I like how we saw the progression of his character through that. But that was obviously the first thing I wrote down. I was like, oh, that's a lot of cage fighting. I mean, we saw it in the trailer, but very heavy on it. I thought that
it's not even cage fighting, really. It's more It looks like it's some type of illegal betting, like
Yeah,
a
it's a
fight
yeah,
club,
yeah, yeah.
like that kind of stuff. And also,
Mhm.
um, I feel like they probably went over it, but uh, something like about his mom, right? It's something along those lines too. I think he sees in the
Oh
in
yeah,
the,
that's his mother. Yeah, obviously.
but she's not alive, right? He's just seeing her. He's
Well, we see her. What do you mean? She's not alive. We see what
like,
happens to
isn't it
her.
just in his mind?
Did we watch the same Monkey Man?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like
Yeah.
if
So I
that
mean,
was
we see
like she passed away and
we
he's like seeing her as
well, yeah, but you see that she's long dead. You see the flashback to where she's killed.
right. Yes, that's
Right.
the whole premise of the movie
Bro
is.
secretly didn't watch the movie. He's just like, right,
I
yes,
did watch the
yes,
movie. That was like the end half of the movie was
yes,
explaining the
yes.
whole backstory. Right. That's also part of, I guess, a lot of the controversy that stems from it too, because of the land grabbing that they were kind of instructed to do of that area. Um,
Hey man, listen. A lot of movies
that's
are
his,
based on
that's
on
his dog
real.
moment, though. Essentially, like if we're gonna compare it to John Wick, right?
Well, okay, well we can get to that because like I have some notes on that. Okay,
That's in chapter 26 of the book that he wrote.
listen. No, it's not that much. It's not that much. Okay, I can put it on screen. No, I can't. It won't let me.
No, leave it, leave it, leave it. It's fine.
So I like what he says. Give me the jobs to do no one wants to do. This is all I know. But anyway, they directly when he goes to purchase the gun, right?
Yeah,
The guy literally says, "Do you like John Wick?" And then
yeah.
he pulls out a Terran tactical pistol. So literally that happened. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I realized early on with that, and then they have the dog, and they have the the suit, and it was like, all right, I love the clear respect. It's not wishy washy like, oh, is he doing John Wick and he's not gonna say it. No, like this
Mhm.
is clearly like like you could take it as a John Wick love letter. Like, hey, I'm making my movie and it's heavily inspired on John Wick because I love it. And they do all these awesome references. There's some specific shots. Like there's a specific and there's two specific kills that are like very much reminiscent of a John Wick kill, like dead on, like where he's holding the knife against him, but then he grabs it with his mouth and pushes it into his neck.
Mm.
And I
In
was
the
like,
bathroom fight scene or something.
yeah, very John Wick inspired. That one was in the elevator. But yeah,
Mm.
so there's clear, like literally, like, hey, we're saying it, John Wick appreciation, which I love. Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of movies that steal from John Wick and they don't say it. This movie's like, no, we love John Wick. Like, you can credit John Wick for the art style and the fighting choreography of this movie. There's no shame in that because we both love John Wick too. So it's like, if someone's gonna be like, hey, I want more John Wick style films, like he's like, me too. So I made one, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that at all. I
No.
love it. So that happened, and also the music. There's a lot of cool uses of the music when I was paying attention to that. I noticed the bell tolls. Like there was a bell toll that would keep playing out, literally the one from Mav
You
from Top
really
Gun.
analyzed this movie.
No, it was just that was the music that was playing. Specifically, the use of music in the fight scenes is very interesting. I say this because the music is chaotic at the beginning in his fight scenes.
Uh-huh.
Later on, after the temple, the poison, and he's healed. I mean, at least he's focused mentally. The panic attacks are gone. Listen to the music in the fight scenes after. It's like melodic, slow guitar. So it's like I was like, oh, I see. It's kind of like the music becomes calm. It's weird because you're listening. It's a crazy John Wick fight scene with like really slow, beautiful guitar, and I think that's like to represent that his mind is now in that calm state. You know what I mean?
Flow state. He's
Yeah.
in the flow state.
So I thought that was really, really genius. There. What else did I put? So I just like I would mark scenes. Like there was the dog. I was like, oh right, it's John Wick. You have a dog in there.
Yeah.
Then he's just training.
But the dog also
was useful.
Yeah, they didn't just make it like this is a companion. Like
Mhm.
he found it as the puppy, right? And then he trained it
My phone. Sorry.
to grab, or like to go around and bring him the gun so he could smuggle it into the place. which I think there's a lot of great nuances
Yes.
in the story for those kind of things where he's just like using the dog like that, or taking a low end dishwasher job, and then kind of, I don't want to, like, he's like kissing up to the guy to get up into the VIP suites to get to where he needs to be. Like, there's so many different things, like, and it's cool. A lot of the movie, though, and I guess what I expected it to be, was I feel like I thought I was gonna get action right out the gate, and I mean, for the first probably 50% of the movie, it's all that like story buildup of,
There was a lot of
you
action
know,
at the beginning.
like what
Well,
besides,
I
but
meant
like,
it
so
wasn't like slow melodic build up though. It was like a lot going on, like all the underworld build up and like him going around and
yeah,
training
but
and
he was mostly getting beat up in those, so I was kind of like
yeah,
not
but
enjoying it as much because
mm,
you're like rooting for him, right? So it's like,
yeah.
I wanted the high octane.
I was gonna say
But
towards the
obviously, we didn't know
speaking
what
of
was coming.
that, like this is the first movie in a long time where like he's in those fight scenes toward the end, and I'm literally in my chair like yes, yes, get him, like I love the scene, so I was like ah, like uh,
Oh my god,
so it's like rooting. There's a sense of like rooting for him, especially with what he had been through. So
he definitely conveyed the story well, and
yeah, the
I
emotional, like the rage.
I do want to point out that I think out of all the Indian cinema movies that we've watched, I feel like it's tough because, I mean, well, Triple R was insanely long. All those were really long. For a movie that was like this length, I don't think it was that long.
No, it's just sub 2 hours.
Yeah. Just really, really crisp, really well done. I love the
Yeah,
colors. I thought it was like very polished
yeah.
for
Well, you know
an Indian
why? I think
cinematic
he
movie.
grew up. I would say, I think I don't know where he grew up, but I know like Slumdog Millionaire, right? He's like a young actor in that. Um, but it's not. It take. I wonder where they filmed, but he grew. I think he grew up in the U.S. I want to say that. Where did Dave?
Let's see. I'm looking at it right now,
Okay,
so I can tell you.
because I yes, it takes place in India, but I don't know if I would consider him like a native Indian actor. You know what I mean? So I think that you're gonna get a lot more Hollywood style. Like that's why it feels to us, the pacing feels correct to us because we're used to this type of Hollywood movie pacing that I think we get from this. It's not like you know what I mean.
Uh huh.
I think I see the Hollywood inspiration as well as yeah, he grew up in South Australia. Well, that's where he lives. No, I'm sorry. Um,
Monkey Man was filmed.
oh, he was born in the UK.
Oh, it was filmed in on the island of Batam in Indonesia.
Wow.
It was originally intended to be filmed in Mumbai, but COVID forced to change the location.
So yeah, so it's not out of India. So you're getting an actor from the UK's perspective on that. So you're not getting, you know what I mean? So I think that's why I would compare this more to Hollywood films in terms of its pacing and stuff like that.
Yeah, he
Um,
was born in London.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, did you just
Um,
say that?
yeah.
Oh,
I
I
also
was
like when he grabs
reading.
because like the intro shows his relationship to this spiritual character, and then you see him like he's in the ring, he gets knocked out, but he sees the ceiling light of the arena, and he goes to grab it like it's the sun, because he in the story you grab a mango and it's accidentally the sun.
Yep.
Um, I love, and then he also says, so he goes into the club with the gun, and when he gets in there, they go, "Welcome to heaven." And it's funny because like I was like, oh, I get it because he's there to unleash the opposite. He's
Well, I guess also in turn, it's heaven for the VIPs that are there
yeah,
because they get to do drugs and hang out with
yeah.
ladies of the night.
And then another thing I noticed was he did the famous like John Wick 3, the famous in the library book smash against the guy's neck. He did that with a kitchen tray. So another
Oh,
John
that was
Wick.
brutal.
Yeah, so another John Wick reference. Loved it. So much biting. His character does a lot of defensive,
Yeah.
like when he's in a struggle and someone's like, either gonna choke him and he can't get out of the hold, which makes sense, like in a survival standpoint. Like instead of reaching for something, the guy's arm is right there and make him,
Just bite him.
bite him. Yeah, I mean, so he's much
What would a
more.
monkey do?
He does a lot more prime. Yeah, I guess in the sense of but he does a lot more
Well,
like
I mean, it's not called
primal.
Monkey Man because of that
No,
aspect,
but
but
I like how he does a lot more primal, like survival instinct level stuff. It's not just like my kung fu training won't let me bite the guy's arm. I got, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so it just feels natural in that sense. And then then everything from there on, my notes are, I saw like, oh, he gets arrested, right? Remember that scene? And so
Yeah.
in my head, I was already thinking ahead, like, so where does this go? Who's gonna get him out of jail? Is he gonna escape? And then like, boom, no jail, right in the back of the police or the ambulance. He breaks loose. The temple I thought was very cool. The characters you meet there, getting close to one of my favorite scenes. He says, "I just hear one voice, her scream," and I assumed it was his mother's scream. And then you have the poison, how he failed his mom. Protecting the temple as if it was that childhood home in the jungle, in the woods he couldn't protect.
Yeah.
Now this is the coolest thing that was so Karate Kid almost. I literally was like freaking out when he's doing the punching bag and he's not getting a good rhythm and the guy starts helping him with the drums. I was like, this is pure genius. That was so cool. That scene was like, and then everyone starts getting into it. That was one of the best things in the whole movie, honestly, for me.
I mean, well, also, I also think that's where like you see that's his training montage, right? Like him being in that place, with the guy on the drums and just kind of going through it. That whole area of that like jungle, I guess I don't even know what to call it. Really, compound is it was cool. I mean, I don't know how they found him after he like I guess jumped in the water, and also
I'm assuming
like,
washed away downstream. Yeah, they don't. I mean, that kind of stuff is.
But he had so many injuries. Like
at that point, I think it was a stab to the leg, and then he had the shot. He got shot in the back. And then you see the scar. Yeah, you see the scar, and it went clean through. Yeah, so that was awesome. Anything else I noticed scene wise was I noticed he does the Michael Myers head tilt in the ring. That was clever. And then he bleaches the mask, turning it white instead of like the black or the so that I think that was like symbolism, like yin and yang. Like now he was on the, I think it changed, his mission changed. I think he like went from pure bloody vengeance to like purpose. Cold calculated attacks. I said it kind of looked like Gray Man to me, like that really smooth, like perfectly calculated movements. And then I noted the calm guitar because he was fighting in that room and it was like really calm guitar music. It was funny. And then the only other note I have is I thought it was kind of like the opposite of John Wick. John Wick is this calculated trained killer coming back from retirement. Then you have this guy he attempts to be the John Wick and he fails dramatically. Like, he can't handle it. He's nervous. He's having panic attacks. Yeah. And then he has to go through and find himself. I really like that. And then the last note I had was from that final encounter with which I assume was the politician who was kind of behind a lot of the stuff. He says to him, only God can forgive you now. So that's everything I wrote down.
Which, I mean, that whole sequence where he's in the elevator going up there too.
Yeah.
Like
the red elevator. Yeah.
Really which, good. I mean, it's so, like, it really is, it's so John Wick coded. Just by, I mean, I really liked, I mean, all the fight scenes. I loved the music. And the music was done by...
that I don't know.
Jed Kurzel composed a new score for the film, replacing original composer Volker Bertelmann. So this guy Jed Kurzel made the score, and then the soundtrack also includes a song by Indian folk metal band Bloodywood, which is interesting. So just I mean the music all around it was I liked it a lot. And well there so
Yeah.
I think what I also kind of enjoyed too is that this movie it it crosses the it joins together Indian cinema plus like the American slash English demographic because it's in English. There's no subtitles. You can
Mm.
you can get away with watching this without any subtitles
Yeah, I wouldn't
and
even
still
consider
enjoy
this.
it.
I wouldn't even consider it Indian cinema in the sense like I just think it's a film that takes place in India. You know what I mean? Like it's not any in any way related to. It would seem to um those film. I mean, maybe you can imply a similarity to something like Bahubali because of the spiritual significance of his character, but like that's just a stretch to me. I don't see any besides. I think obviously John Wick is the clear connecting piece.
Uh-huh.
Um, I want to look up the. I think Bahubali is all fictional in terms of his character's like origin and stuff like that. I think there's obviously like the, in terms of like the god and stuff like that.
So,
That's real, but
well, here's the thing.
um,
As I'm reading this, so production, right? I'm on
mhm.
the wiki. Around 2014, Dev Patel conceived the image of a man wearing a rubber mask in a wrestling ring in the armpit of India and wrote down the words "Monkey Man."
Yeah.
On October 29th, 2018, it was reported that Patel would make his directional debut, directorial, I keep saying that, debut with an action thriller film titled Monkey Man, which he co wrote with, I don't want to say the
So
last.
it's a Hindu deity Hanuman, which is
Yeah,
I think that
Hanuman is
uh
a monkey that carries a. They explained it.
yeah, he reaches for a mango, accidentally grabs the sun, and the gods punish him.
And I mean, if you think about it too, like the whole underlying message is he's Monkey Man because he embodies kind of the story of Hanuman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I mean, they even do
that's
that thing where the chest opens up, and
yeah.
that's there's statues of Hanuman like that. So I don't.
There's
I know there was yeah, we. I know there's a lot of controversy in terms of like the. I know this, so I don't want to get too much into it. I didn't. I was trying to figure out while I was watching it what that controversy was. I thought it was related to like one of the religious figures being killed in the movie. I didn't see one get killed in the movie, so I don't know if there was like a
it's
misrepresentation of a
the
part of the religion that was upsetting. I mean, listen,
no.
the guy made fun of Christians in the arena. I'm not Christian, but I'm just saying like everyone kind of got there was that scene where they were like, well, uh, I think it was, to my understanding, based on watching it, it was more like, all right, the politicians are subduing our ability to worship who we wish, and he
Uh-huh.
was standing up for that. I'm sure there's some.
I
Uh,
mean, you're walking a very fine line,
yeah, so I
but
that's my interpretation of the fictional character, like of his fictional character represented by the religious figures. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure someone can explain it to us better, and I'm sure there's multiple perspectives. But from a film to be watched, me personally not knowing anything about the religious issues, you know.
yeah, it runs pretty deep, and I think what um he's depicting here is pretty modern issues, and it also has some deep rooted history. Um, so
Yeah.
it's he really kind of made this movie a little bit of a political statement as well, which is not. I mean, if we're talking about art in general, it's supposed to push those boundaries and drive a narrative of
Mm.
something, but like the themes of it, if you look it up, are they're pretty heavy. I mean, it's levels of Sardar Udom heavy, but packaged differently.
Mm.
Is how I can best describe it to you without saying exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I mean, if anyone's got a perspective, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on this. I'll have to do some more research on that end.
And this
You
movie
know,
made money as well. It had a budget of how much do you think? How much do you think it was to cost or to make this movie? How much?
40 to 60 million.
All right, all right, 10 million.
That's a low. That's a
Yeah,
low, 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 low.
that this was a $10 million
And
movie.
how much did it make?
It grossed 35 million worldwide.
So
So made money back.
that's very successful. That's very successful for a movie if it's budget.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, pretty
Um,
small time. It did release in theaters. And so in the United States and Canada, it was released alongside the first Omen,
I'll be honest. I would have loved to see this in
which
theaters, and I'm upset at myself for not realizing its potential. And just at first, I made the mistake of being like, "Oh, John Wick," and I wish I hadn't done that. I mean, no one would have known, but uh, yeah, this was a lot more than just. This is not a John Wick copy paste. This is a movie
it's
that
something
is
that actually can complement the John
yeah.
Wick world. I
This
mean, you can
is
kind of
yeah.
see this going on.
This is a love letter to John Wick from this debuting director who wanted to, and he paid, and he did all the right things. He paid homage. He named literally just he literally said. So I mean, technically, you can what like. It's either takes place in a world that watches John Wick because the guy goes, "Do you like John Wick?" So it's either John Wick is famous for being a killer in that universe, or
Yeah, the movie.
they watch the movies. Yeah. But I rather think of it that John Wick is out there, and then now we can have a John Wick versus Monkey Man movie.
That would be cool. There's actually no
So
mention of John Wick in the wiki at all. Oh wait, never mind. I lied. I see it right here. Uh, Noted that while the film was action-packed, violence-fueled John Wickian cinema.
yeah, but it's not like it's like, hey, you copied him. It's like no, right at the beginning we're like, no, we referenced him right away, multiple times.
Oh, so there's also well, these are critic responses actually. So somebody said, "Did you watch Roadhouse?"
I have not, and I've been meaning to.
I watched both the OG Roadhouse and
Yeah,
the new one with Jake Gyllenhaal and Connor.
I heard the OG is still better, but that it's worth watching.
Uh, I mean, we could have a whole podcast on just those two movies alone. To be honest, they're each good in their own right, I think. But somebody just compares it to the hyper violent and bruising fight sequences that you see in Roadhouse. That's why
now
I'm
like
bringing it up.
if that's similar in any way, then now I want to watch Roadhouse. Yeah, and I think
The
that
new one's a little annoying, but I mean, the old one makes more sense. The new one, it's just a whole. I have opinions.
All right, I'd be interested in getting into that then. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was really rooting for him in this movie, like literally on the edge of my seat a little bit, like yes, get him, yeah, come on, like I don't want him to get hurt, and
Yep.
I like how. I understandably how they left it open ended. You don't know if he lived or not. I would assume from my point of view that like he collapses from exhaustion, and then you have his allies from the temple come up and bring him to safety.
Well,
So,
they're fine, right? I mean, they just kind of showed up to that whole thing.
he got stabbed in the chest pretty bad, so they showed up at the end. But I mean, the it's him. You don't get to see whether he lives or dies. So, I would assume obviously if they want to do a sequel, which I heard he was asked about that, and he said that he said something about like whoa, this is my first movie, calm down. Like so he says it's anything can happen, but obviously debuting directors, he might want to explore other projects.
Well, I mean, if this was something that he was so passionate about that he wanted to be his first movie that comes out, I mean, he's setting a pretty high bar already.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm kind of curious to see, like where does he go from here? A little behind the scenes thing here. So Dev Patel co-wrote the script, and he was also heavily involved in crafting the film's visual style. So he also drew inspiration from classic action films and Indian storytelling traditions.
Yeah, that I see definitely.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just I mean, it's a movie that when I stopped watching it, or like when I was done, I was like, all right, like this has caliber to be high up on the chart, as well as potentially being up there as a favorite as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. I agree. I would watch that. I would want to see people's reactions to that. Like if I had a party or something and people wanted to put a movie on and they were into action
yeah,
films, I'd be like, you guys got you watch action films and you haven't seen Monkey Man? You gotta see Monkey Man. That's what I'd say. You like John Wick? Then you gotta see Monkey Man. If you're a John Wick fan, you gotta see Monkey Man.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, for sure. You want to take a quick look at the
Oh
I
yes,
have my number. I literally I'm not lying to you. This is the first time in ITM history. As soon as the credits rolled, I had my
you had
number
a number in
and
mind.
I locked it. Like I most times I don't know my number till we're recording. I literally have known my number
The
since
the IMDb page for this
since.
movie is actually pretty sick.
Yeah, no, they like the marketing is like all there.
Yeah,
I
it's
do love
great.
the I love the John Wick is like black, purple, blue kind of. I love the I
So
love the
let's
Monkey Man
see.
style. Everything they chose for it, I'm satisfied with.
I'm sure Dev, if you're watching this,
Yeah, if you're watching this, we loved your movie. We loved your
fantastic
movie.
work.
Yeah, have us down for a couple drinks. We'll talk about it. Like like
Yes,
um
just call my secretary.
listen, these IBM, we usually love this IBM. I mean, listen, there's not a lot of
IBM,
ones.
IMDb.
I am what am I saying?
IBM's the
IMDb.
technology
Like
company.
so we normally love these charts. A lot of sevens with I see it's 6 to 8 is seems to be the average 6 to 8. I'd say 7, but there's also there's a decent chunk of everything here except
Yeah.
for I think the
Well,
majority.
filter it by, so like
All
United
right,
States
United States.
had strong sevens, like 29.9%.
Ooh, whoa.
And then if you filter it by India, you can
Yeah, look at
see
that. Interesting.
23.5%
20.
tens.
That's crazy. That's like, you know what that is? That's not real tens. That's like
What do you mean it's
permanent.
not real tens?
It's tens, but I mean like I think that might be like because the controversy like that's the other part of it, the people who didn't like it, that's the people who loved it because that the other side of the controversy, whatever it is. I think that's what you're seeing there is you're seeing how normally like when a movie's like what do you call it, like when everyone decides to downvote a movie, what's that called?
Well, they review bomb it.
Review bomb. I think that's the opposite. This is a review healing grenade. I don't know, like you know what I mean. Like this is the opposite of that. And that's my feeling on that. Because look at any other country. It's in his home country. It's everywhere else is the same. Is my point. Is my point.
Yeah.
So you have the yeah. So interesting. I think it's fair. I think 8 to 6 I can understand. 6 maybe not. Maybe people who are just I don't know, not that entertained by it. Maybe it's not for
I'm
everybody.
trying to figure out. It seems like this movie was heavily marketed, and I see we have some new viewers
Hmm.
here. So please let us know your thoughts on
Yeah.
Monkey Man
Check Rotten
by
Tomatoes
Dev
as well.
Patel. But it seems like a lot of people are like doing the comparison to John Wick, and they're saying that like sadly it's not the Indian John Wick, because where John Wick does more with very little, Monkey Man conversely takes the opposite approach, essentially dividing the film into two acts.
But I
The
think
first
that
half of the movie, roughly recounting for 65% of the duration of the 2 hour film, consists of backstory. And then, so it seems like they're just kind of like
see, but I didn't find
dragging
for
that.
one. I didn't. I'll be honest. For one moment, I did not think this is boring backstory. I didn't even think it was backstory. Things were happening. I was like, wait a minute. Lucas said it's only John Wick for the last 20 minutes. I feel like I'm in John Wick right away. Like I literally like it's
Yeah.
all like. All right, let's be honest. If it literally was like, if you want to put it like John Wick in India, and from the beginning he knew how to fight, like what would it be besides the John Wick action, right? Like I enjoyed the buildup of his character to become someone who to get over his anxiety and his panic attacks, to become focused, committed, find his purpose. Um, I think it serves the character because his whole plot is vengeance. Now that it's done, I don't know if a
Yeah.
second movie would make sense.
Yeah, who even comes comes next? You know,
Maybe a higher political figure.
like so. I mean, where do you really go from there?
So that's the thing, right? So like he would have to think about that. If it, like right now his character is full circle, and you could leave it as does he live or does he die? Leave that up to yourself. You know.
I'm just reading some of these things, and it's very interesting.
Is it
Uh,
skewed or is it?
I mean, there's mixed reviews. You know, somebody did quote the "Only God Can Forgive You Now" quote. Man, what a wild ride! Violent, fast-paced, yet beautifully shot. Great effort by Dev Patel in his directorial debut.
See, over
I
the
mean, the
top
soundtrack
violence
was
is
reminiscent
rarely
of John Wick. Huh?
over the top violence is rarely this much fun. First time directors are rarely this skillful.
That I would agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're. I mean, I feel like, you know, anytime you come out with something first, right? It's always going to be, oh, this is promising, whatever. But yeah, he definitely set a high bar. And an 82%, you know, popcorn bucket, whatever you call it, audience score is great, and an 89%
Yeah.
fresh, certified fresh tomato
I know
from
Rotten Tomatoes ate it
critics.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on like a
And that's what I like here. Is this guy says Jack Martin film feeder. I don't even know what that means. Within Monkey Man's many brutal fight sequences, Patel also makes the exceptionally strong case for being not just a formidable action lead, but also a ferocious genre filmmaker.
mm,
I think especially if you're coming from if you're most people aren't. They go to the film, they don't know who directed it, they don't care. But if you're coming from like a point of view of like, oh, I know this is this guy's first film directing, I'd be like, wow,
uh-huh.
this is like this is your first. Like, I want to see what you got next. And I mean, not every director needs to be the lead, but like I would like to see him again in a lead.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
thought overall as an actor as well, he
Oh
did pretty
yeah,
fantastic.
his emotional range I enjoyed. Again, I was more. I was putting off watching this because I was like, John Wick spinoff, and I'm like, no, this is I got way more than I anticipated, and I very much enjoyed it. You know, so
Yeah, all right. I think
we can probably get into the ratings. What do we call that again?
the intergalactic movie ranking system.
There you go. There you have it. Look at that. This is the poster I found, by the way. I'll put that for everyone to see. I really like this. I don't know if it's a fan one or if this was like another official poster, but
He's in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the
so
2010 movie.
yeah.
He's in Poison, which is with
Well, he was in.
oh, he's in a Wes Anderson movie. It's a short with
Have you
who's that?
seen
Benedict
Slumdog
Cumberbatch.
Millionaire? That was one of his
Yeah.
first. That's 2008, and he's the main character. Maybe we watch that because one of my coworkers
He's in
really.
Chappie.
I think he's the voice of Chappie. No.
No,
Oh no,
he's
he's the creator. He's the creator of Chappie
Dion.
with the glasses. Yes, that's a good movie. I don't think we ever got to Chappie on ITM, did we? I think.
He's in the Wonderful Story. He's in a lot of Wes Anderson movies too, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that? Huh.
Yeah, so Slumdog Millionaire, I think, was his breakout lead role, and that movie was like a 9 out of 10 on every platform. That movie is very popular. And he was 2008, so he was 18 at the time, and that's his breakout lead role, I believe. And then he's the creator in Chappie. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, look at that poster! Wow.
Oh, I never even watched that movie.
Which one?
The creator.
Chappie?
No, I love Chappie. The
The
creator. Do you remember that? Like a year ago that came out?
creator.
It's with the guy, the main character. Look up the creator. It has the main lead actor from Tenet. I saw so many ads for this, and then it just dropped
Oh,
off. Now I never heard when it came out, but I saw it.
John David Washington. Yeah.
Maybe we add this to our list because we know we liked him. That's Denzel's son.
Yep. I'll have to check that one out. Add that to the list.
Add it. Yeah, I don't know if you're writing
All
these
right.
down. Are you writing these down?
So
Are you
no,
writing these down? Oh, how are we gonna know?
um,
How are we gonna remember?
we're just gonna watch this back. Um, so give me your thoughts. Give me your case for
Ladies and
your score
gentlemen,
here.
I love this film. I had a great time watching it. It was more than I bargained. It was more than I wanted from a John Wick spinoff. It honored John Wick in all the right ways. He did a great job. I love his characters, his emotions, his story, the build up, where he goes, the people he meets. Everything about this is everything I wanted from. If I wanted more John Wick style films, I got it with this. This may not be a 10 out of 10, and it has some CGI issues. It for me 100%. Before I say my number, it is going for me, and hopefully you agree. It's definitely going to be in that favorites category. You know, for us, we'll have ones they might not be a 10 or a 9, but they can still be in the favorites.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give this an 8.8. And I decided that before I even looked at Rotten Tomatoes, they have an 8.9, so I was very close. I love this film. It's got some small CGI and some weird cut issues to keep it from a 9, but 8.8, it's a favorite for me.
8.8.
8.8, it's a favorite for me.
So the difference is I didn't really think about what I would.
You're like me. You're like, I forgot to think about where I'm.
No, I didn't forget to think about it. I just like.
Now this puts it just point because remember KGF was KGF we put 8.9, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're also kind of similar. I think these are more comparable too than we might think. Because with KGF and Monkey Man, but. See, I'm trying to compare it.
Yeah, I got to break out of the 8s. I think when I redo this the ranking system now that we're restarting, I think this will be our first thing in an 8 because we put Dune 2 in a 9.
Yeah.
So when this refreshes, I think we just got to break out of the habit of. I think we have a habit of being around the 8s, which we happen to watch a lot of great movies. Like because you guys were all recommending amazing movies. Last time.
But take a look at some of the things that we've seen that are,
those are top notch. Yeah,
they're great films.
I can tell you, I would have moved one of those 8s, the Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man in hindsight, yeah.
In hindsight, that's in a 7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now the back half of the film, when the other two show up, it's an 8, but that's because it's just a cash grab. It's got to go to a 7.
Well, too late now.
Too late now.
I think I'll agree with you. I think an 8.8 is actually a very fair score.
Awesome.
I think, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I would definitely 100% recommend this to somebody to watch if they like John Wick. And I might actually go and create a post after this of me telling people to go watch this if you like John Wick.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we should get the word out there.
And I think Dev Patel is also very promising as a director. So I think, given the style, how it kind of blends two worlds together of what I personally love about Indian cinema is the whole mythology of everything and kind of combining that with
from the Hinduism
with the action. Yeah, I just love that stuff too. I do
a lot of any like all these movies that do like religious like even you can think about even like the like God of War and Thor and the Marvel stuff, like all the mythology kind of stuff that gets woven in. There's a reason that stuff's been around for so long,
yeah. So I think 8.8 solid score. Fantastic music,
deserved.
Even better visuals, the coloring, everything, the choreography, the fighting.
I'd watch it again. I'd watch it again on a bigger. I'm watching it on a really nice. I got my monitor is really nice, but I want to see this on a big screen, big screen.
Yeah, let's just go rent out one of the movie theaters and.
ITM rents out movie theater for fan meetup. Oh.
8.8. I think that's very fair, and we'll have to redo this. Maybe keep our favorites up at the top. That way people know like what we like.
Oh, in that case, okay. No, I agree with that. And then I can make like a nice little favorites like thing that's like separate, that we can always bring up when people are like, yeah, I like that. Wait, why isn't I might have to. We might have to. I think you know what. I think you and I should like. We'll do like a little sit down one day, and we'll just go through our favorites and see if there's any we want to change or add. Because I realize the Lighthouse isn't up there, and I think the Lighthouse is an ITM certified film.
Well, this is
like so.
Oh, the Lighthouse is there. It's an 8. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not in a favorite. That's what I'm saying.
I think it slowly became. I think that was a slow burn.
Yeah, because eventually we were like, "Damn, ye went slow." like we
it grew on us.
Like, because we couldn't stop talking about it. And we're like, "Ye Fortnite hard."
Yeah. Oh my god, I watched
Fortnite.
This is a tangent, but I mean, I'm going to talk about Wicked at some point in a 60-second review.
Yeah.
But people were talking about how Willem Dafoe should have been the wizard in that instead of Jeff Goldblum. But there's something about Jeff Goldblum when he comes out, and he's always like, yes, yeah.
Yeah, he does. It's like, oh, here he goes playing himself again in another movie. Wow.
People are like, does Jeff Goldblum actually know how to act, or
no? He's just so famous for that. Like because that's the thing is people, like people just hire him to be himself because he's so. That thing of like his is that's what's famous. So they want him to be like and it's like
it's so good though. He was good at it. I mean, Wicked overall. I'll share some thoughts on that in a 60-second review. So I mean, you'll have to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell and drop a like in order to see those. But yeah, overall,
maybe you'll see that in a second.
No, I just watched you.
Oh, I thought you only see it on the thing.
I have technology.
Wait! I got you.
One and only beast.
No.
I know it's Pushpa, but I don't think he says it. I don't think it's a slogan.
Yeah, that's one and only beast. Violence.
Oh man. All right. Well,
I avoid it.
Want me to take us home?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead?
All right.
Do it.
So that will wrap it up for this review of Monkey Man. Hopefully, you guys, if you decided to watch this full way through, decide to give it a chance if you were kind of on the fence about it. And if you like John Wick, 100% definitely check this movie out. And let us know down in the comments below what you think about Monkey Man. Is it comparable to John Wick? I mean, what other movies out there are kind of like this as well? I think this is, kind of becoming into its own caliber itself. Are there any other movies that you think are similar to John Wick that you think we might like as well? Now that, it's kind of paving the way for action movies as well. But overall, 8.8 out of 10. We want to know what you have to say about Monkey Man. It seems like, gauging by what the viewers thought when we initially released the trailer reaction, not too much traction on it, but hopefully, this whole review kind of puts it together for you. Definitely an underrated film overall.
Definitely.
But be sure to like, subscribe, share this with somebody who loves movies, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. And we look forward to hearing your thoughts, and we'll be answering any comments, Q&As, whatever you guys got.
We got to get more people talking about Monkey Man.
Yeah, I'm doing my part. You're just gonna go around work doing that.
They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, watch Monkey Man. All right, everybody. It's time. Peace out.